All right, let's dive right in. We're going to tackle a problem that every single trader faces, that feeling of chaos when you look at the market. We'll show you how to cut right through all that noise by tracking what the big institutions are doing using a tool called Big Beluga order blocks. The goal? To turn a confusing chart into a clear, actionable map.
You know that feeling, right? You're staring at a price chart with all the lines going up and down, and you just feel completely lost. It can seem totally random, completely unpredictable, leaving you with zero confidence about where the market is going to go next.
While that feeling of uncertainty, it comes from not being able to see the full picture. The market feels chaotic because there are these invisible forces at play. But what if you could just flip a switch and bring all of that into focus? That's how you go from uncertainty to clarity, by finally revealing the market's hidden structure.
So, what are these hidden forces we're talking about? Well, the biggest, most significant moves in the market are driven by large institutions, what a lot of people call smart money. Their gigantic orders are usually hidden from the rest of us, but they are the real engine driving the price. And this is exactly where the idea of an order block comes in. An order block isn't just some random box on a chart. It's a tool that pinpoints precisely where those massive institutional orders are sitting. You can think of these zones like magnets for the price, showing you the critical levels of support and resistance that you can actually build a strategy around. Okay, so enough with the theory. Let's see how this thing actually works in practice. We're going to move from talking about it to actually doing it and create our own smart money map right now. Activating this view is incredibly simple. You just head over to the settings, toggle enable blocks, and bam, your plain chart instantly transforms. It gets populated with these bullish green zones and bearish red zones, giving you an immediate map of where all the potential market activity is. Of course, having all this data is one thing, but we don't want to get overwhelmed, right? The key is to filter out all the noise and really tailor the tool to your specific trading style. Let's look at how we can focus on what really matters. So, take a look here. On the left, that's the default view, and it can show a lot of old blocks. But on the right, we've applied a filter. We've reduced the number of past blocks and told the tool we only want to see the strong bearish ones. See how you can instantly zero in on the most powerful and relevant zones for your analysis? You can also adapt the tool's sensitivity to market conditions. This is called the mitigation method, and it basically decides when a block is considered filled and disappears. The Wick's method is more sensitive. It reacts to a simple Wick touch, which is perfect for fast-moving, volatile markets. The touch method, on the other hand, requires a more significant price interaction, giving you a stricter, more conservative confirmation. Now here's a feature that's a real game changer. You can display order blocks from a higher time frame right on your current chart. So for instance, you can see the key daily support and resistance zones while you're analyzing an hourly chart. This is absolutely crucial for aligning your short-term trades with a larger market trend. So, we've identified the zones on the chart. But honestly, that's just the first step. The real power, the real edge, comes from looking deeper at the rich analytical data that's hidden inside each one of these blocks.
Yeah, true market insight doesn't just come from seeing the zones. It comes from analyzing the multi-layered activity within them. This is where you find the real advantage, by understanding the volume, the pressure, and the sentiment that actually created that zone in the first place.
Let's start with something called delta. By enabling Show Delta, you can see the net difference between buying and selling pressure. A positive number, like this plus 75 here, shows strong buying pressure. A negative number, like negative 92, shows that selling pressure was dominant. It's your #1 gauge for sentiment.
But now, here's where things get really interesting. This is a pro-level insight. At first glance, this might look like a contradiction. You've got a bullish, green block, but it has a negative delta. But think about what that really means. It means that while tons of people were selling heavily, the big institutional players were quietly absorbing all of that selling pressure before driving the price higher. This is an incredibly powerful signal of strong future support.
So what if you're looking at a chart with a bunch of different zones? How do you know which one is the most important? Well, Show Metrics solves that. It assigns each block a percentage of the total volume. In this example, one single bullish block holds 66% of the total volume. That marks it as the absolute epicenter of activity. You know exactly where to focus. And for a quick final check, you can use Show Rating. This gives you a really intuitive assessment of each block's importance, categorizing them as weak, balanced, high, or strong. The strong blocks are especially important because they highlight where that smart money was most active, which makes them high-probability areas for your trades. All right, we've seen the visual zones and we've seen the data inside them. Now, let's put it all together. The goal here is to combine all these data points into a concrete, actionable trade idea. The real power here is in what we call the confluence of data. That's when multiple signals all point in the same direction. So imagine you're planning a short trade. You identify a red, bearish block that has 3 key characteristics. It's got a strong rating, a high negative delta, and it accounts for a huge percentage of the total volume.
And this is what that confluence looks like on a real chart. All the signals are pointing in the same direction. You have the strong rating, a massive minus 150 delta, and it's 45% of the total volume. Together, they create a crystal clear, high-probability zone to plan your short entry.
What's great is that this system is also flexible enough to match your workflow. For a really deep analysis, you can enable all the data layers, delta, volume, rating, the whole shebang. Or, for quick scans, you can reduce the noise and just enable the Show Rating feature to rapidly identify only the most powerful zones.
So at the end of the day, Big Beluga order blocks are way more than just another indicator. They are a comprehensive system for understanding and acting on what's really happening in the market. It's all about tailoring the tool to your strategy, filtering the noise, and aligning your trades with the market's underlying forces.
By mapping institutional order flow, you're no longer just guessing, you're actually reading the story the market is telling you. The clarity you need for smarter, more informed trading is right there in front of you. The only question left is, are you ready to see the market's hidden story?